On the bench today, I have a pair of Mach 3 speakers that are sorely in need of repair or refurbishment, really. These are Pacific Stereo house brand speakers that I bought back in 1974, and they've been out here in my garage for, oh, probably 25 years now. And as you'll see, they are in pretty bad shape. This one I've already opened up. You can see that the surrounds on the woofer are essentially gone. These are just like toast now. It just crumbles. So what I did is I've bought some replacement speakers from Parts Express, and we're gonna put those into these with a new crossover, hopefully optimized for the volume of this cabinet, which is about a cubic foot. And we'll see how they sound. Right now, of course, they sound like garbage. We'll pull down this one, and I'll show you what it looks like before I opened everything up. So you can see they're kind of dirty. 20-some years of sitting in the garage. Let's open up this one and see what we have. Oh, so now this one, it looks like the cone is in a little better shape. In fact, it kind of looks like this one might have been replaced somewhere along the line. But it's still going to come out, and we'll make sure they match, because this one is very different from the other one. I wonder when I did that. So let's go ahead and get this out and clean it up, and definitely clean off the case. I'll just use some gentle cleaner. It's kind of goopy. Looks like it's just vinyl wrapped particle board, nothing fancy. So yeah, we'll get this cleaned up. Oh, I did make a note on there. Look right there, repaired February 16th, 1975, Radio Shack woofer, $27.92. Huh. That actually wasn't too much after I bought them. Don't remember doing that, because geez, these things are now, what, 45 years old. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these old drivers out. These speakers probably cost, oh, maybe 150 bucks back when I got them. Like I said, in 1974. They were house brand, Pacific Stereo. They called them Mach 3. But again, they were nothing really fancy, even when they were new. And that screw is different than the screws in the other ones. That's good to know too. But we'll probably use different screws when I put these back together again and make sure everything is sealed. Hopefully the sealant I used here is something that we can get off. Alright, so let me go ahead and finish removing these, and then we'll come back. Alright, well, they weren't stuck in there too hard. I was able to pry them out. Yeah, nothing real fancy. This woofer is definitely better than the messed up one. It's got a much heavier magnet to it. Don't know why I didn't replace them both at the same time, because this one's actually in pretty good shape. I might have to hang on to that one. We've also got some of this great padding stuff in here. Not much of a crossover, just a little capacitor. So we're going to put a better one in, and hopefully these will sound really nice. So let me clean up this cabinet. So I'm just going to use some of this Gentle Greenworks all-purpose cleaner to clean these off. Basically, it's just dust and some greasiness. This stuff seems to clean it off pretty well, and I'm pleasantly surprised that the vinyl has held up as well as it has, since they've been sitting outside for quite a while. There's just a little bit of separation here at the seams, but fairly noticeable, so we'll get these cleaned up. Alright, so we've got the cabinet all cleaned up. I had to kind of clean up some of the goop around the edge here. That was pretty easy to do with just a small chisel. So the woofer fits in just fine. You can see down there what counts for a crossover. Not much. The one I got to replace that is much nicer. Now, unfortunately, this hole is just a skosh too small for the tweeter, so I'm going to Dremel that opening just a little bit bigger. So we'll make this opening a little bit bigger here. All right, we got that hole Dremeled out so that the tweeter's going to fit in there really nice. So it's time to start putting this back together again. All right, the cabinet is all cleaned up and ready for the new drivers. First thing we're going to do is unbox the crossover, and we'll get the connections all set up, mount the crossover down in the bottom of the cabinet, and then we should be able to install the speakers. This is the crossover we're going to use. It crosses over at 4.5 kilohertz. It's a two-way. I'm just going to mount this here in the bottom of the case. And first we'll prepare some leads to connect from these terminals to each of the speakers, and we'll just use some 16 gauge speaker wire to do that. And let me get those leads all ready, and we'll move on to the next step. All right, for the attachment to the terminal connection on the back of the speakers, I'm going to use these spade lugs, and I will crimp and solder these. And then for the connections to the crossover here and the speakers, I'm going to use these push-on lugs, and that should work pretty good. So let me show you how this goes. We'll crimp up this guy here. Okay, I'm going to solder those on there also. That should be good to go. Come back here. That's one. I won't bore you with soldering all these up, but next time we'll come back, I'll have these all these cables ready to go, and we can mount the speakers in the cabinet. Okay, I have got the crossover mounted in the bottom of the cabinet. The cables are ready to go, and so it is now time to mount the speakers. I have some foam batting that we'll use inside the cabinet, and that should be that, along with some sealant to put around the drivers. In order to seal around the drivers, I'm going to use this speaker gasketing tape. I'll put a parts list in the description. I got all of these parts from Parts Express, and hopefully that'll seal things up pretty nice without leaving a big goopy mess behind. Okay, we've got the speaker cables ready. I've added the surround foam padding here for the speaker gasketing, and we have our stuffing inside there, our damping material, and so now it's time to drop in the speakers. Alright, got the tweeter mounted, ready to install the woofer. So let's get you hooked up here, and we'll drop you in. I've color-coded my connections here for positive and negative. And let's see, this one is positive. And this one is negative. Okay. All right, you can screw that guy down. And they sound really good. Yeah, I'm real happy with the way they came out. So they're going to go back up in their corners here in the garage, and will hopefully last another 30 or 40 years, although I may not last that long. But yeah, these came out really good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.